Our next guest is on national radio. During the pandemic, she was a viewer of the Stu Peters show. I want to say fan because we weren't necessarily talking about great things during that fake pandemic that hurt so many people. Then, of course, the bioweapon shots that were unrolled in the name of safe and effective vaccines afterwards. We covered all of that. Everybody knows about Died Suddenly. If you haven't seen it, it's at stupeters.com. We've been having a lot of conversations recently about saving lives. I mean, that's what this platform is all about. It's about saving lives. It's about helping people. And Nurse Michelle is our next guest, who, by the way, was a nurse during the pandemic that became the patient and then was introduced to something called X39. You may have seen an interview that we did with David Schmidt, who was the inventor of this. Mind-blowing stuff. You may have seen an interview that I did just to talk with Crystal Tini, who's an influencer on Instagram, among a whole lot of other things. She's the one that introduced me to X39 by LifeWave. You can find all of it on uncancelablehealth.com. Uncancelablehealth.com. Western medicine does not want you to know about this. This could be the most censored testimonial interview that I have ever done. Real life experiences, and Nurse Michelle joins us now. Thank you so much for being here. And I've heard nothing about your story. Full disclosure here, that's true. Okay. I've heard nothing about your testimonial. I've heard nothing about what you've done in the way of X39. What I know about it is this. I've been on it for 12 days now. And in 12 days, I've seen an increase in energy. I've never had better sleep. I'm processing information like at lightning speed. I believe my short and long-term memory have gotten better. My posture has gotten better. I'm seeing more, I guess I would say, like muscle recovery energy in the gym. The other day I was like, wow, I worked out twice today. I just can't believe that. I wanted to go back to the gym. My lady's a little kind of frustrated with the amount of energy that I have right now. I will say that my performance intimately has gotten a whole lot better without getting into too many details there. But this is only day 12. I was told, like, wait, well, that may be happening to you. It doesn't happen with everybody. A lot of people see things, physical changes. We're talking about legitimate, and I'm going to ask you, let me pose this as a question. Are we really talking about legitimate, bona fide age reversal with this X39 patch at uncancelablehealth.com? Is that what this is?
Yeah, I'm blown away with what I have discovered as a nurse who's tried to help people through the pandemic with anything that was obviously accessible, because we know how much censored things we discovered you couldn't get access to through the pandemic. So it became necessary to find things that were not inaccessible. And I had to survive COVID in the COVID unit in 2020 to be woken up as a retired nurse that something very serious was happening in our country. And when I became that patient in the COVID unit and saw that the NIH had done things that were contributing to why people were going downhill, I became Nurse Michelle activated and was helping people throughout the pandemic. But then after helping thousands of people around the world for that, I actually had a canoeing accident in October of 2023 and broke my hip in a blue state, I might add. And I had just interviewed the lawyer who was going to be taking down their governor for breaking Title VII law. And I ended up in a hospital in that state. And it was a very troubling thing to have happen to Nurse Michelle, because I didn't want any of their blood in case I had to have an emergency surgery, which I had to do. And as soon as I came out of the OR from my emergency surgery, they said there was a COVID outbreak on my floor and they were going to try and mask Nurse Michelle, but I assured them that I could help them not have to comply either, but I certainly wasn't going to be doing that. And it ended up being amazing radio material because of what happened there. But long story short is I'm 5 weeks post-op. I am at a medical conference in Arizona. I had not been using any Tylenol or anything for pain because I had this gel that was helping me. And I forgot it. And I was at this conference and I had no way of managing my medical problem. And I was going to not be home for 16 hours. So the Lord just said, you're at a natural conference, you're going to find something here. So that's where I was first exposed to the X39 patch. And somebody said, Nurse Michelle, we can help you. Trust me, there's no medicine on this patch. It's 100% natural. It's just going to activate your own stem cells to go and help you. And I was pretty desperate. I was on a walker at 5 weeks and 5 weeks post-op. And they put the patch on my C7 on the top of my spine. And this was early November of 2023. And at the moment it got put on my spine, I found out I was part of 1% of the population who experienced something. And it was like my entire spine was tingling like electrical sparkling light going down my spine, and my hips kind of fluttered with a beautiful sparkling light. That's what I'll tell you.
Wow.
And I said, oh my gosh, I just felt, and I expressed that to them. They said, oh my gosh, you're part of 1% of the population. Only 1% actually experienced that. I patched a lot of people since then, but my son is one of those people too who had the same experience. And it doesn't happen every time now, but I will tell you that day, I'm a girl on a walker, and I'm not a personality that belongs on a walker, but I literally felt like $1,000,000. And I'm not a person, I'm an Energizer bunny anyways, but it was like the most positive energy. Okay. And that night, I just completely revamped the room, the 2 rooms of a friend that I was staying with that night. I'm like, oh, we can do this tonight. And just took it out. Didn't need the walker ever again. I went home on a cane. I was only using a cane because I was afraid after breaking a hip of little children running toward me. And within a week, I was off a cane. But that next week, at 6 weeks post-op, my orthopedic surgeon said to me, I have some bad news for you. I was waiting for my patches to come in. I was like a 1 week order. I'm like, get me on these things. I want them. Okay. So I got them in a week. And I may be saying too much. You may want to interject, but at that 1 week that I'm waiting, the surgeon has a nerve to say to me, Michelle, your screws are coming out of your hip. Your neck of your femur is crushing onto your femur head. Your femur head is going to die. And you're probably 9 months away from a full hip replacement. And I'm like, oh, no. That's not my plan. I want a plan B. And he said, no plan B. There's nothing you can do to stop it. I said, oh, I just found out about a miracle, and I'm going to use my own miracle, and we'll see about that. So the patches come in about the 6th week after I'm on post-op. I've been on them now for 5 months. And I am telling you, I just went to my 24-week post-op visit with this surgeon. When he saw me walking down the hall in my boots and jeans, he did a double take on me, and I went into the room and waited for him. And when he came in, he's like, what the heck? He's like, you are walking like a woman. You do not look like a hip surgery person. Your x-ray looks amazing. Your screws are no longer coming out. Your femur neck looks solid. And I have osteoporosis. I have a condition that makes me have that from a young age. And he's like, your bone looks solid. The top of your femur head, which was supposed to be crushing, remember, was round and beautiful. He said, I have no need of seeing you. I said, well, don't you forget why. Don't you forget why. Because I told you about my miracle plan, and I had 2 miracles given to me that weekend, and I've been on both of them ever since. And I wear every day the X39. I wear the Eon, which is spelled AEON, because it's an anti-inflammation patch. I put it directly on my hip. Because I have bone damage and muscle damage from the injury, I wear the X49 on that side of my body as well. But because I have a lot of major medical, I have multiple sclerosis, I wear a glutathione patch behind my ear every day, and I wear a carnosine patch under my belly button every other day. So I'm telling you, I feel amazing, and I sleep with the Alvita at night and feel amazing. I just saw an appointment with a doctor that hadn't seen me in 6 months, and when I walked in, they're like, what are you doing? And what they saw, and my hairstylist saw last week, was, what are you doing? And what she saw were the same age, we're both more than half of 100. And she's like, what is it about your beauty, your skin? And it's like she saw a radiance about me. And I've had people say it to me, quite consistently since I've started the patches. And they say, take a picture, like at the beginning of this, when you start patching, like at the top of every month, because you won't notice the gradual change that will happen in your appearance. It's just a side perk. I'm not taking this for my anti-aging, right? I'm taking it for medical reasons because I need medical help, and all the solutions doctors have for me are drugs that are very expensive and very dangerous, and surgeries. And that is unattractive to this nurse. I do not want anything to do with that. So to have something that's a sticker, like a Band-Aid that I put on my body that literally acts like a little mirror reflecting my own God light back into my body to tell my own body to do what God told the stem cells to do. And I mean, I could science you up on that one, but I'll let you say something.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just fascinated listening, and everybody knows what I had to say. So my audience is no stranger to my opinions on things, but this is quite possibly one of the most important things that we have talked about. I mean, we're talking about actually reversing the aging process, We're talking about you have been healed. We're not obviously making the claim that everyone's going to be healed or that this cures anything. We can't do that. But I'm saying, like, if you're battling a certain diagnosis, if you've given up hope, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't try this. And the thing is, it's only $99 for a month's supply. So I tell people try it for 3 months because, you know, as you mentioned, like the physical appearance stuff is just it's a byproduct. Maybe that will be some people's motivation to stay looking young. Maybe they feel healthy otherwise. But what you don't know is even though you feel healthy, your body has aged. There are things happening to your organs. They are being deteriorated by the poisons that we ingest, the processed foods that we eat, the crap that's sprayed in the air. We're a product of our environment, the things that are, you know, in our water. You can't avoid that. Pharmaceutical crap and nonsense is all poisonous. You know, I mean, the list goes on and on. I have noticed the change in my posture and, like I said, the way that I'm processing information, and I feel like my skin looks better too. I thought that may be a placebo effect. I don't know. But I'm not going to talk myself out of something. I'm really enjoying what I'm at with day 12, and I just can't wait to see day 24. I can't wait to see day 90 after 3 months. But maybe
Let me tell you another shocking story.
Sure.
I mean, this one is just an amazing young fella story. I mean, I'm at a baseball tournament with my youngest child, and here the pitcher's on the mound. He has a slips on the mound. He has something damaging his hamstring. He's limping. He's in excruciating pain. He's upset that he's taken out of the game. And I walk up and I'm like, I can help you. If you'll let me put some stickers on you that have no medication at all, I said, I can pretty much guarantee you no pain very soon. And he said, please put my patches. And Mom gave me permission to do that. And I put the X39 on his back because I wanted him to get healed. I wanted the stem cells to go and heal the problem. But I also wanted to reduce any inflammation. So I put the Eon on the back of his leg on a hamstring. I got the Ice Wave patch, which is a polarity patch, not a stem cell patch. And I gave him the brown one. And I said, now we're going to put this on the worst place where you hurt the worst. And he put it right there. And I said, you're going to take the white one. You're going to go in the bathroom. And I want you to slide this until you have zero pain. Do not come out of the bathroom until you have zero pain. 2 minutes later, the boy basically is running out of the bathroom. He could not walk going in. And his mom's like, what? The boy says, did you do black magic? And I said, no, this is not the opposite of black magic. I said, this is literally God's light that he gave you when you were born. It's been with you your whole life. And it's just been turned back inside, and it's just turned your own pain off.
There's no doubt that you're talking about this a lot everywhere because this really is a miracle. There's no doubt that you're using your platform to educate people about this. So where can people find more from you on the X39 and other patches brought to you by LifeWave?
Okay, so I am on Instagram at Nurse Michelle with one L .rn for registered nurse. So nursemichelle.rn is my Instagram. My website is advocacywithmichelle.com, but I'm also on national radio on americaoutloud.news/nursesoutloud. And we've been getting the truth out and the testimonies out of the real stories of what's gone down in these last 4 years, exposing the darkness, exposing the people who've gone undercover and expose what's gone down. So that we're on news every day, 10 a.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern.
We're so grateful that you are as well. I mean, your experience is multiplied by millions of times, but very few have the courage to actually say, you know, the things that you're saying, and you're saving
reality
lives.
Too. We have 75% of American citizens got 2 of these, 2 shots. Okay. So we're talking about injured people all over the world that need help, and we have something that can help them. And we have people that are in chronic pain all the time. This is something that's going to be a solution. Yeah.
Whether it's physical appearance or treating something that you've been diagnosed with, long-term illnesses, pain that you've been dealing with, excruciating pain, injuries, anything. I mean, anything that you can think of that's internal, external, it really is truly the reversal of age. And by the way, if you don't like it, guess what? Full money back guarantee. I would say try this thing for 3 months. I would say 90 days. That'll cost you $300. And if you then just want to decide, I want to stop reversing my age, then stop taking them. And if you're not satisfied, get your money back.
My medical conditions are so severe that there is no way I will not, unless he invents something better than the X39, there's no way I'm not wearing it forever, because the medical community has nothing to offer chronic debilitating diseases.
That's right.
If you have chronic debilitating diseases, you have nothing to lose.